Hey YouTube, Joshua the Window Cleaner here with another giveaway night. So tonight's giveaway products are all thanks to Window Magic Supply. Thank you so much, Window Magic Supply, for all of the giveaway tools that you've been giving away to us. We really appreciate it, and we thank you so much. And those of you out there that have gotten the tools, just make sure to put it in the comments how you're liking the tools, and if you don't like them, tell us what you have and what you don't like so far. I'm not going to name off all the tools. There's so many tools, and that would take quite a bit of time. But we have the S Plus channel there. We got some leather as requested. So, got some really cool stuff. Couple belts. Couple more new squeegees. We got a different kind of blade. We got the new Norman sleeves. And then also, you don't want to forget about our silencer giveaway. I'm giving away 2 silencers, one from Window Cleaning Resource and one from me. Don't forget about that, so stay tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and stay tuned in so that you can see that review. So when you see the silencer review, I'm going to be giving away 2 silencers on that review video. Now I'm going to walk you through the Joshua the Window Cleaner kit we're giving away. This is a bundle of squeegee-like towels. Get the Unger Ninja Ergotech hip bucket, the red, white, and blue Sorbo with the 40-degree, the 14-inch Quicksilver with the 30-degree handle, the Maker 3-lock clip belt, the Norman side kit, and you get the Unger 6-inch blade. Get the Golden Glove by Ettore with the Unger Ninja T-Bar. It's 18-inch. Get the handy sleeve, the 6-inch. You also get the Unger sprayer on a belt and a black bucket. So if you want to win this, make sure to send me your window cleaning story. Send me how you got started in window cleaning. And the best story is going to win all of these products. So make sure to stay tuned in if you want to win. Tonight's the last night that we'll be accepting those. We also have the California Dream, by the way. And yeah, so if you want to win these tools, just make sure to listen in for the question tonight. And if you want to win the Joshua the Window Cleaner giveaway kit, make sure to email me at joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com. Your story, your window cleaning story, how you got started. The best one's going to win. Tonight is the last night. So if you don't send it to me by midnight tonight, you will not be able to be entered in. I have some stories that I'm going to be reading tonight, and I hope y'all enjoy the show. Peace out.
Hey YouTube, all right, so as you just heard, we're going to be reading some of these stories that I've gotten in. Quick disclaimer, I got a few of them that did not really pertain to their window cleaning story on how they got started. I was getting a few people that were giving me a story, like a window cleaning story, like something that happened with window cleaning. And those are great, but that's not actually what I was asking for, so those will not be being read on here. So if you're watching this show and you're like, oh, that was me, I misunderstood you, it's okay. Go back on to joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com. Go ahead and type up your story tonight, right after this show. At midnight tonight, we will no longer be accepting any more anybody that wants to try to win this, because we have quite a few stories. I'm only going to read the ones that I think would qualify, and nothing against any of the other ones. They were just really short and just kind of like, I just went and got a job window cleaning, you know, and so that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for like a really genuinely cool story on how, like, what led you to window cleaning and how it just maybe changed your life, or, you know, and I would just love to hear all those stories. So we're going to read some of these stories tonight. There won't be any topics. There is a giveaway question, obviously, and we do have giveaway tools to give away tonight. So just stay tuned in for that. We are doing things a little bit different tonight on the giveaway. I've already selected the tool that's going to be given away tonight, and I won't be drawing out of the cup. I just wanted to specifically give these away for a specific reason, and I'll talk about it later. So I'm not going to let you know what it is until later. Make sure you're listening in this whole entire video to see what that question is. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into it, reading these stories. So I might not be able to read all the stories tonight. I'll probably be reading a lot of the stories tonight that I have, and then I'll read the rest of them on the next show. So we won't have topics on the next show. We're going to read all these stories, and And then we're going to kind of vote as a group, everybody in here. We can all agree on who has the coolest window cleaning story. Hopefully we can all agree. If we can't agree, I'm just going to have to make a decision. And I guess some people will just have to be mad at me. But I'm hoping that it goes to the right person. I've been praying about it and hoping that it goes to the right person. So, all right, let's go ahead and start out. I'm assuming everybody that sent me their story is okay with me reading the story on here. And so I'm going to say who you are and your story. So I'm going to start out. I have Lee Dirksen. I have his story first. And to start it off, he says, after working for 18 years in a warehouse, I retired. I spent all winter not doing anything. A motorcycle friend posted on Facebook about wanting to help part-time washing windows. After a few days, I asked if he still needed help. He said, when can you start? So I started with him, and he showed me how he does windows and gave me a squeegee and said, you try it. He told me I was a natural and told me I'll do the tops and you do the lower half. After 6 months, he said, you are good enough to start your own business. And he gave me some of his route work to start. I'm still helping him on the credit unions and sometimes house cleanings, but I also do my route work too. When I started with him, he was 79 years old with health problems, so I was glad to help. I'm still not as fast as he is, and when I try to hurry, I make mistakes, and he lets me know. That's a really cool story, Lee. That is awesome that you're helping him out and that you found window cleaning. It's so cool, man. When I think about my job as window cleaning and how I got started, I have a very, very long story, and you can go back on my YouTube and watch my video on my story and how I got started. There's actually a lot more to it. So if you ever meet me in person, a lot of times I'll tell you the real story and like really what happened. I just, there's some things that happened that I don't really like to blast different people that were involved, and so I just kind of keep that part to myself, no negative in there. So, but yeah, Lee, that's a really cool story, and I appreciate that. So let's go to the next story. The next story we have here is HD Washman. So I really liked your story, man. Your story was really really cool. Um, it's one of the better ones. I'd say is the top my top one of my top ones. I have a couple of them that are up there with the top ones of like the best. Like you really sat down, you put paragraphs into this, and this is an actual story, and I really liked it. And I'm sure there's way more to the story that you were not able to tell. But thank you so much, HD Washman, for your story. So here is HD's story. So here's my story how I got into window cleaning. At 34 years old, I had been from the bottom of the barrel to the top of the lid, unknowingly knowing the barrel was still a trash can when I got out. As far as old jobs, I've been an EMT, a bus driver, porta potty technician, LOL, burger flipper, fire sprinkler installer, ditch digger, to even a Chinese food delivery guy. As far as transformation, I went through being a street thug who daydreamed of robberies, selling drugs, almost dying 4 separate times, being the man of the house at 14, having a hole in my heart emotionally. I had to kill part of my old me to be my new me. Around 5 years ago, I was living in South Central LA with my girlfriend and now wife. South Central is like having in a pot that keeps getting hotter until you either die or get cooked, like the rest of them. Slowly, after being born there, I hated it. I got married, my wife got pregnant, and we moved out to a place about 2 hours away in a rural area. When my second child was born, I got paternity leave for 2 months, and I stretched it out to 3. I was making $50K a year and was going to make more the next working as a Class B driver for a porta potty company, working daily hours of 10 to 16. I missed my firstborn's first year, really. When I came home, he was asleep, and when I went to work at 5 a.m., he was also asleep. Being that I've almost died 4 times, had shaped my thought the most. It has turned me into something else. Some people love me, others don't get it. So, with the time I had alone, I bonded so hard with my family. Towards the end of the time home, I contemplated staring at starting. I'm sorry, he spelled a couple words wrong, so I'm trying to put it in. Starting a home business. I have been making cash in hand since I was 11, so I knew I could do it. I've had so many jobs and knew I was one of the hardest workers, so I knew it could be done. I sat alone with myself for days in tears sometimes, in prayer during the day, telling God to give me something to do with my pickup truck and I'll do it. I don't know how or what, but now I know it's just life. But I woke up and one day and an exterior cleaning service was just calling me. I dove in hard. A week later, I knew what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to have money to pay mortgage, and I had 2 kids now. I told my wife and my boss I never needed anyone's consent or approval because sometimes you have a vision and just got to go straight to it. I quit my job and built my truck up myself with used equipment. I hit the streets on my first day and got 2 window cleaning storefronts right next to each other. I made 50 that day for both, and I drove home so accomplished like I came home with $3 million. The joy in my wife's eyes and how she was bragging about me just turned me into a bigger monster. I never looked back. I dove in fast and hard. I remember during the early research days when I was on the fence when I should start. I'm most proud of myself how I didn't wait a long time from an idea to reality. I'm going in on 2 years now. Congratulations, HD. That's a freaking awesome story, man. And I can kind of relate a little bit with that. I was kind of the man of the house at 14 as well. My dad left and went. He actually went and moved a few hours down the street, and then ended up moving out of state. And so I had to be the man of the house, and I was living with my mom, and we went through a lot. And so I totally can understand that. And coming from Alabama to California, I can say I can relate a little bit in that. And the area I came from, everybody knows I graduated from Holt High School, and I'm a Holt boy for life. But it's in the more hard area of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I mean it's pretty ghetto and projects, and it's really bad. But I still love a lot of people there. I still talk to a lot of people there, and I go visit people there. There's a lot of people that moved out of Holt, to live somewhere else and live in different states and stuff, which is really cool. So I get to see some of that on Facebook and stuff. So I can totally relate in some of that stuff. But man, it's so cool that you got into this industry, and that I've got to talk to you just briefly about a few things. And you got a group on Facebook, and we've talked a little bit about that. And thank you so much for your story, HD. Like one of my favorites that I've read so far. Man, it's the top. It's the top. Yeah. He's setting that standard. So I'm gonna go on to the next one. HD, you did really good, man. Thank you so much for spending all that time and typing all that out. Like, there's a couple things misspelled in there I didn't get right away, but for the most part, man, I would have misspelled stuff too. That was a long story, but thank you so much for your story, man. I really appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next one. We got Tyler Smith's story next. And Tyler Smith had a really good story too, and he was one of the top ones too. He spent some time on this one, and this one had me choking up a little bit because I could really have compassion about how he was experiencing these experiences, and um, just kind of living in those moments. And the way he describes his story in the story is really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. This is Tyler Smith. It was last year, right after the height of COVID, and my work shut down. I was searching all over for a few weeks for a new job that could support my 2 boys and soon to be wife. Money was starting to get really tight, and I thought I might lose everything if I did not figure something out. Out of nowhere, I got a notification on Facebook that a local window cleaning company was hiring, starting out at pretty good money. After I received an email from the owner, I learned that the interview was helping clean on site, and that pay would be determined on how well you did. For the week leading up to my interview, I went to YouTube to do some research. I became consumed with all the content and practiced constantly. I thought for sure that I would nail the interview and make even more on the hour. Finally, the day came. I was to meet the owner at a Dairy Queen about 30 minutes away. Coming from my Army background, I left early and was 30 minutes early and decided to sit and wait for the company truck to show. I waited more. After 45 minutes, I decided to give them a call to make sure that they did not either forget about me or get held up with work. They told me that they had to go out of state to another job and would give me another time to come. This continued to happen. I was still watching the YouTube videos. I was trying to be the most prepared for when my day came to show my worth. That was when I came across Keith Kalfas. For some reason, he fired me up, and I decided that I would just jump into it and make enough money to cover bills until I could get this job. I had about $50 in my bank and spent $35 on some cheap supplies. leaving just enough to put gas in my car. I was too deep into it. I had to make something work, not just for me, but for my family. I went out October 3rd, 2020, and went boots on the ground, door to door, trying to get anything I could. By the end of the day, I had made my money back plus some. This gave me hope, as I was able to actually get my son something for his birthday. His birthday happened to be the very next day. Every day for the next week, I went out to make a little here and there because on October 10th, 2020, I was getting married. Luckily enough, we had already had things paid for before COVID, so we didn't really have to worry about expenses. After that weekend, it was back to work. I made enough money in the few weeks to get actual supplies from WCR. This whole time, the only person behind me was my wife. Everyone else was telling me that I needed to get a real consistent job. All that this did was put me more fire under me, as I hate being told what I can and cannot do. Over the next few months, up to now, I have grown enough to not have to be living paycheck to paycheck. I make enough to have some breathing room if something does happen. I also have the free time to coach my kids' baseball and football teams and just be there for my family in general. I have found something that has given me joy and that supports my household. It is a win-win in my book. Here in the near future, I will be needing to hire helpers. My plan is to be able to have something that my children can grow up seeing what hard work can get you and have them. If they want to take over as they get older, I know this will be a long-winded. Oh wait, sorry. My plan is to be able to have something that my children can grow up seeing what hard work can get you and have them. If they want to take over as they get older, they can. I know this was a long-winded story for less than a year, but I just started and couldn't stop typing. I want to thank you for giving me the chance to reflect on this past year. And as I'm typing this, I'm getting choked up on where I was and how I got here. Also, thank you for being the most down-to-earth, helpful window cleaner and mentor on the internet. Thanks again, Tyler Smith. So thank you, Tyler, dude. That was a really good story, man. Like I said, I was like imagining the whole thing, the way you described everything. It was like perfect, man. It was a great story on how you got started and one of the best so far. You know what I mean? Like all the stories are good. I don't want to discredit anybody's story, but the point here is who pretty much had the roughest story, who's been through the most for their window cleaning journey to get to where they're at. And I tell you what, the past two have been pretty. Those two are competing with each other. So we still got a few more to read that we're going to read tonight. And if you have a window cleaning story out there and you're watching this, make sure to send me your window cleaning story. And you see the competition that you're up against now. So I'll be reading the ones that I have left after tonight's show. I'll be reading those next week, and then I'll also be reading the ones that are submitted tonight. We're at 19 minutes. I'm going to try to run this thing less than 30 minutes, and I'm not going live tonight. So I'm just going to read probably, I think I got a couple more that I can read. Let's see. We got Sean Weatherly. And Sean is always the first one on the show. So thank you, Sean, once again. I'm sure you're on here. There's no doubt in my mind that you're on here. And if you're not, I hope you're okay wherever you are. Because at this point, man, you're going to have to let me know if you're not going to be on the show. I'm going to be worried about you because you're here every single week. So, and thank you so much for your support. Anyway, so this is Sean Weatherly's story. So Joshua, here's my story. In May 2003, I left New York City after 13 years of full-time volunteer work and landed in Houston, Texas. My purchasing and inventory control background got me nowhere. A friend suggested I do window cleaning. All I needed was a few good accounts and I'd be set. Window cleaning, what's that? How do I start? What do I need? He pointed me to the residential window cleaner, who then told me to go and watch one of his guys clean a strip center one morning. After watching him for an hour, I went to Home Depot and got a few supplies. 500 business cards later, I was set. Not. Picked up a few accounts, but had no idea what the heck I was doing, nor how to properly bid. My first time using a squeegee was on my first job, which was sadly underbid. 6 months later, I had to give up and take full-time work in a mailroom for 2 years. Boring. Another friend came along. He had been working for another window cleaning company for 6 months. His boss was looking for someone to run a route in my area. 2 weeks later, I had a job with a proper training and real tools. After my first week of work, which was only 3 days, I made more money that week than I did a full time for 40 hours. I swore I would never work a full time job again, and I haven't. I worked for that company in Houston for 4 years and learned everything I could. In 2010, my wife and I moved to North Carolina. For the last 11 years, I have slowly built my own business, route work, and residential, and only work 2 to 3 days a week, still making more than most people do working 40 hours plus, and spend the rest of my time and energy supporting my volunteer ministry. So for the last 15 years, what can I say? Hands down, best job ever. So, thank you, Sean, for your story. That was an awesome story. I really appreciate that story, and I bet there's so much more to that story. But that's really cool that you have at the end, I see you have a volunteer ministry. That's super cool, man. You ought to send me a message, and I'd like to check that out and see what you're doing. Let's see. But thank you so much, man. I'm glad that you were able to send me your story. This is so cool. I get to see, kind of put a story behind everybody's face that I see on the show. So that was really good, and I hope I'm able to read these. I've read these stories a couple of times, so that way I kind of can. I'm not just reading it like a typewriter. But he really says boring and all that stuff with exclamation points. And so, thank you, Sean, for your story. You really took your time. You went in there and you did the same thing. You put everything in sections and you typed it all out. I really appreciate that. So, thank you, Sean, for your story. So, there's some really good competition out there, guys. So. Here's another story. This is from E-Man the Window Cleaner. He's always here on the show too. You probably see him in the comments. So his story was really cool too. And his story was pretty long too. He says he starts the story out as I'll keep it short. But I think we got one more story after this one that I'll read, and that'll be all for tonight. I'm gonna do the giveaway. So this is E-Man's story. He says, I'll keep it short. I was a chef for 20 years. I gave up that profession and worked for a friend of my own who owns a window cleaning business for 30 years. 2018, I started mid-February. February in Canada is dead cold and winter storms. Fast forward, worked there for a year, all was good. Then I had to resign due to my health issues with my back. During that time, I was able to work as a butcher for 8 months and do window cleaning as a freelancer on the side hustle. Fast forward 2020 March. I was playing basketball with my boy and a bunch of Filipino friends, and that's where everything turned upside down. Ruptured my Achilles 2 weeks before COVID-19 blew up. On top of that, we were given 2 months' notice to look for a new place to live. So for about 2 months, we could not catch a break. So my in-laws took us in their 2-bedroom condo. So that's 4 of us and the in-laws living in a 2-bedroom condo. I felt bad and felt useless because I was not able to provide for my family, let alone COVID and no jobs. Literally living off of EI for almost 8 months and then recovery. And that's when I decided to talk to my wife to open my window cleaning business during my recovery time period. So I did my research, got all paperwork sorted out, and started the process of getting all the legal paperwork done and organized and what I needed to purchase regarding business supplies. So I was looking at Steve-O's video, Steve-O the Window Cleaner on YouTube, Steve-O's videos for all about a year or so, and found a video regarding how to open your window cleaning business. With all the information gathered, everything was falling into place. July 2020, I was able to land my first client. Mind you, I was not fully healed with my injury. I was still limping. Anyways, one of my highlights was watching one of Steve-O's videos, and he recommended your channel. And so here I am writing to you my story of how I opened my business. We all have our humble beginnings. Here's mine. So I hope this is a good enough story for you to share. Thanks, Emmanuel. So thank you so much, E-Man, for your story, dude. Your story is awesome too. It's like kind of kept me on the edge of my seat a little bit, trying to figure out what was going to happen. I know that you became a window cleaner, but it's good to know that you're becoming more and more successful. And I'm glad Steve-O actually did mention me. He mentioned me on a squeegee. I did a squeegee review, and he mentioned me. But I had already been talking to Steve-O a little bit before I started my channel. I was buying some tools from him. I had some questions for him. I really didn't even know he was big time on YouTube like that. I was just talking to him about tools. I actually used to call him Steven. And I think he prefers Steven actually. So I still kind of try to call him Steven. But yeah, so Steve-O's awesome. And I'm gonna have him on the show. So I'm not gonna tell you when, but I'm gonna have him on the show more than likely. I've already been talking to him about it, and he's all game for it. More than likely, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you it's probably gonna be the 30th show. So the 30th show, you might see Steve-O the window cleaner on the show. We've been talking about it, and we're gonna come up with some good questions, some good topics, and things like that. So I really look forward to doing that show. But thank you, E-Man, for your story, dude. That was an awesome story, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, 2-bedroom condo with the in-laws. I bet that was super stressful, and I would feel the same way. You get kicked out of your house. Like, everywhere you turn, you're getting smacked around. And it's good to see that it jolted you all the way into window cleaning, and that you were able to pull a business out of it, and come out of it a lot stronger, because those are really tough things that you got to deal with, especially if you've got kids, man. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I don't have kids right now, but I got one that'll be born in December or November, whenever that happens. But I couldn't imagine going through all of that, and then with COVID and stuff. So thank you so much for your story. Like I said, y'all, there's some good ones. That was another one that's up there at the top. These are a little bit hard to kind of say who's got the best one. And we got one more tonight that's a little bit shorter that I'm going to read. And then that's going to be all I'm going to ask the giveaway question. We're at 27 minutes. So, all right. So the next one I'm going to read, and then the rest of them will be read next week if anybody else sends any over. I did get a couple of stories, y'all, but make sure you send me your story, how you got started. And if you didn't hear your story tonight, maybe you need to go back and read your email and make sure that you told your story in the correct way, because sometimes some of those stories that I got sounded just like a window cleaning story, not like how you got started. It's just like, oh, well, we got these 27 buildings and all that stuff, and you probably know who I'm talking about now that I said that. So if you look, just go back on there and send me your story. Like, that's not really that's not how you got started. And if it is, then kind of word it a little bit different so that I can read it to everybody and we can understand a little bit better. So the last story I'm going to read tonight is from Brian MacGyver. He says, "Howdy do, Joshua. I started window cleaning in mid-2007. I was working at Jiffy Lube, really going nowhere. A friend mentioned that he was hiring for his window cleaning business. The start day came, and I was given a kit. The first training day went smooth. The training period went as well. I worked like the work I liked, and soon bought new tools. Not to use the old broken tools often. A pro bucket was bought and wheels were installed, working smarter. After that job, I went to a building maintenance company and did the window cleaning jobs. Now in 2021, I drive a company van full of 90% my tools. Thank you for the support and tips, Brian." Thank you so much for your story, man. That's an awesome story. You came from Jiffy Lube to window cleaning, and it sounds like, man, maybe one day you might have your own business. But that's really cool that you got 90% of your own tools. Just make sure you keep all the receipts and stuff for that, because if you bought them yourself, that company should reimburse you for those tools because you're using them on the job. And if you ever want to keep those tools and start your own business, you could possibly do that. You know what I mean? But just have proof that those are your tools, because I've had a similar situation. That story is very similar to mine, and how I got started, and I kind of got screwed over a little bit. So just be careful. Be careful what you're doing, and that's great that you love the window cleaning and that you've just been so infatuated with buying tools, and now you have 90% of tools that are all yours, and you're working in a company van. That's super cool. But I could totally relate. If I worked for a company, I'd probably buy my own tools too, because they're not going to want to spend the money like I would want to on my tools. So thank you so much, Brian, for your window cleaning story. I really appreciate it. And like I said, there's a few more out there that the stories just kind of need to be put together a little bit more. So send it to me so I can read it, and we can share that. So as of right now, that's all the stories that I have that were put together that I could read and that really made sense and that everybody would be able to understand. So those are the contestants that are to win the Joshua the Window Cleaner kit giveaway. Stay tuned in for who's going to win and who we decide to do it in the next couple weeks. We will decide, and we'll be shipping that out. So stay tuned into that. All right. So we're at 30 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and ask the question for tonight. If you can name this sleeve, and this is the brand new blank by Moerman sleeve. I'm not going to tell you the name of it. I need you to tell me the name of it. I know it's Moerman. You can see Moerman right there. But this is the new what sleeve? What is the name of this sleeve? If you can name this sleeve, the first one who names this sleeve will win a 18-inch. I believe it's a 14-inch, and I believe it's either a 10-inch or 12-inch. I can't really tell. I think it's a 10-inch. But you will win all 3 of these sleeves. And whatever the name of that is, I'm not going to tell you the name of it on here. But whatever the name of it is what you're getting. You're getting 3 of those. So congratulations, whoever you are. You will get this, a Squeegee Life towel, and some stickers. We can't do any t-shirts right now. Randy's out of t-shirts. So we're waiting on her to get some more ordered and waiting on that order to come out. I think she said she's already ordered them. She's having trouble with the people that make her t-shirts. So she's got them ordered, and I think she's just waiting on them. So we'll be giving t-shirts away in the future, but as of now, you'll get Squeegee Life towel with every giveaway. Now, this is going to change soon. You're not going to be getting a Squeegee Life towel every time. Once we run out of the ones we have, you won't be getting them anymore. So pretty much it's just going to be the tools that we give away. And I'm going to try to make little kits and have you win like a couple of things, not really just one tool. That way we don't have to throw a Squeegee Life towel in there every time. And it still makes up for it because we don't want you to pay $20 for shipping on something that might cost $5. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. So we wanted to make it worth it for you. And then we also want you to test these tools and come back to this show and comment. Please comment. Tell us what you think about the tools. And if you see tools on here that you're not winning or whatever, just put them in the comments anyways. Help out other window cleaners and let them know how these things are working. If you have these sleeves, tell me what you think about them. I have not used them yet. I just got them in. Randy sent me a bunch of stuff. And that was along in there. So you see we got some leather. I literally, everything that everybody has requested on the show, I sent it to Randy, and she sends me the stuff. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being on here. Make sure to like this video. Please like this video. It just helps. And if you could subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. There's 2 different things you got to do. You got to subscribe, and then there's like a little bell beside there. You got to click it and put always. You want to always get those notifications. That's going to tell you when we have another giveaway night. That's going to tell you when that silencer review is going to come out so you can win that silencer. It's going to tell you those things. And if you want to go through my videos, I know I haven't been posting the past 5 weeks during the week. I know I'm only doing the giveaway. I have been going crazy. I've got a house now. I'm trying to get settled in. My laptop is giving me trouble with the Premiere Pro, so that's normally what I use to edit my videos. So I can't do much with it, and I don't have time to spend on it. I'm trying to get the studio ready. As you can see, my studio is finished now, so I got all my music stuff set up and the LED lights all the way around. I'll be able to change the color of the LED lights every week. This will be really cool for the show. So my background's finally finished after 5 or 6 weeks. You know, it took forever, I feel like. Maybe it was 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, thank y'all so much for all your support. I really appreciate y'all joining the show and being active on the show and saying dad jokes and just all the things y'all do. Y'all are awesome. I hope y'all have a blessed week this week, and we will see y'all next week on another giveaway night at Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time zone. I'm in California, so that's my time zone. 7 p.m. It will be on here, and I'll be on there being able to comment with y'all. Well, y'all have a blessed night. Go spend time with your family right now. I'm not going live after this show. I don't go live after the show, mainly so you can go spend time with your family, and I can go hang out with my wife and spend time with my family. So y'all have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.